maybe I become my own recording artist. I want to be Hook God. Hook God and Millennial Frog.
Yeah, dude, we should combine that. That would be fucking excellent. Speaking of which, this theme song for No Party Preference by my dropshipping manual off of one of the newly released Millennial Frog albums, Poverty of Content, which can be found anywhere for free, by the way, for free. That's how much we love you fucking people, is we just give you shit for free like all the time.
Yeah.
We don't even ask for any money. We're not like those grifters on the internet, those other internet grifters. All right. We're like, hey, nah, it's cool. Just take it. Not a big deal. But anyways, this is No Party Preference. Today's episode. I feel like that guy, you know that meme when he's like, today's subject, slavery. Like, I feel like we need to do a slavery episode just so I can say that.
I don't remember that guy's name, but he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he is funny. But yeah, so today's subject, religion. Oh, man, another hot button issue.
I fucking hate it.
I think we all do.
I think we all got to start. I think we should start the episode of the reasons why. And this is probably not a good way to approach the episode because it already shows
biased
up. Yeah, it's already biased as fuck. But fuck you. This is NPP. We do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, that is true. And speaking of doing whatever the fuck we want, if you want to do whatever the fuck you want and go listen to all of our other podcasts, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com where you can find the full menu and full selection of podcasts available. You can also go on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you want to follow Adam, you can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram, and hear all of his wonderful musical memes and musical musings. And go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast, conveniently located on the Game Rage Podcast Network.
Yes. And don't forget to not follow us, and don't forget to not listen to us.
Yeah, true. Don't forget to not do those things.
Don't forget to do literally nothing.
Don't forget to don't forget to ignore us. Yeah. That's,
In fact, unsubscribe, unfollow, block, and report.
Yeah, block and report is junk or spam, right? Is that the thing? Yeah. So, anyways, today's episode, obviously aptly titled, I'm sure, as you've read when you looked at this before you clicked the play button. Because, yes, I know a lot of you decide what you're going to listen to based on what the title is. And if you don't like it, you're not going to listen. But this one is Church versus State. And this is all about religion and government and why the things should not be connected, related, or touching, or even fucking involved with each other at all.
Yes.
But anyways, so yeah, you had said we should start the episode saying why religion is horrible.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea. So why do you think religion is horrible? I
hate it. I hated it since I was a kid. Not only because I had to go to church every Sunday. It's wishful thinking to put all your eggs in a basket for this sky daddy. Mm-hmm. That you're putting all your faith into this one thing for everything to turn out right or wrong. And I never liked that concept. It just sells life short. That there's so much more out there. And this is the thing you settle for is a 4,000-year-old Bible or however fucking old it is at this point. When it's been proven through carbon dating that there's trees older than the fucking Bible. Or bones or whatever the fuck you want to say. But I think it's also been something of a... It's been a bad thing towards my own family, I believe. I'm like the black sheep. I'm a non-believer. And I get constantly harassed about not being of Catholic faith. I've been told by my own mother that I have the devil inside me. Whether that was comedic or intentional doesn't really matter.
Facts are facts.
I really don't care because I know I'm right. And I've asked her a couple times, I'm like, why do you even believe? I'm like, you're only Catholic because of the fact the Spaniards came over here and they raped and killed a bunch of Mexicans. And that's that's the only reason that you're Catholic.
Yeah.
It's not because Catholicism started here. It's because it was brought here and we were doing just fine. I mean, Aztecs were holding their fucking own for a hot minute. In fact, they had they were polytheistic or whatever, but they did fucking all right. But she's like, oh, I don't want to know about that. What I know is what I know. But that's the problem, dude, is that people always want to settle for like the simplest thing, even if it's not logical.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, my grandma was just, I'm going to say it. I don't care if my family listens to it. She was kind of mean about religion. She constantly reminded us that if we didn't marry somebody Catholic or if we were not faithful to the religion, then we were going to go to hell. So it's just all that shit. It's constantly being reminded that you're going to go to hell, or if you don't live a certain lifestyle, you're going to go to hell. It's like, it's fear mongering constantly. I fucking hated that. Like I know that there's more to life. And as I said before, religion on the whole is telling you that this small scope of seeing the world is the only way to be, when like you can just take off the blinders or the scope itself and see the world for what it really is. Like that's why I don't fuck with religion.
Yeah. And before I get into the portion of why I think utilizing religion as a guide stone for making important decisions is fucking terrible idea, I just want to make because I also, was raised Catholic as well. Did you ever go to like the Saturday church? Like they'd have it on Saturday evening, like
at 6, like or whatever. Yeah,
dude, man, I remember during the summer that was the worst shit ever because the Catholic church was so cheap they didn't want to turn the air conditioning on.
Yeah,
and you go at like 6 p.m. and it's like 100 degrees outside, and I would literally fall asleep in the fucking church because it was just some asshole droning on about nonsense. And then you're just sitting there sweating your dick off for what? for literally for what? And I thought that was a little funny thing to say, but I don't. Oh, good.
I did have one more thing to add. And plus, when one of my nieces got baptized, I remember seeing pamphlets for voting against abortion. Mm-hmm. I think that's problematic because I don't think religion should have any place in what happens in our own country. That should be for the people to decide for themselves. So it's like you have a whole congregation or a church itself dictating how people should vote. That's very fucking dangerous. It's the same way celebrities can be worshipped, and then like Taylor Swift telling everybody vote Joe Biden. That's 1 million votes that did not even entertain the thought of what the other party has to say. It's just because I like Taylor Swift. Right. Maybe I'll like Joe Biden too. Yeah.
And that intertwines with the whole thing of that's kind of the inherent flaw of quote unquote democracy, is that democracy just boils down to 2 wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner. Right. And it's tyranny by majority is what things sometimes end up happening. And so if we use religion as our guide, a lot of people, many elected officials, I talked to God. Hell, Biden today on his stupid fucking interviews, unless God himself comes down and tells me not to run, I'm gonna keep doing it. And I don't think he's gonna do it. Yeah, he ain't gonna do it because he don't fucking exist, you idiot. That's why he's not gonna come down and tell you this. But a lot of people who make decisions, they go and say, I thought about it and I prayed about it, right? That's the number one thing. I prayed and I sought reflection. Well, here's the problem. Religion is an excuse. It's an excuse because people don't want to handle the fact that you are in charge of your own life. It's much easier to blame things on this invisible plan that some invisible fucking sky daddy has for you and say, this is all part of God's plan. This is God just testing me as to why I'm going through this hard time or whatever it is. Well, no, it's because you probably made some poor decisions leading up to this, or it could just be bad luck. It could be a multitude of reasons, but it's not some intelligent plan that's like got you fucking, I set out to have Billy Bob here go through these trials exactly, and this is how it's going to be. No, that's fucking bullshit, because if that were the case, then there would be no point to life. It would be totally bullshit to be even alive if everything was preordained and predestined of how it was going to go.
And to add on to that, not exclusively to Christianity that we're talking about, but the idea that Jews are the chosen people of God.
Yeah.
Okay, then what the fuck are the rest of us supposed to do? If if
scumbags going to hell.
as if we don't fucking matter because
Right.
yeah. So we either are on equal terms in the eyes of God, or we're not, or there's a 2-tier system at least for people that are Israelites or Jews and everybody else.
Yeah, and when you have people that are in elected office utilizing, if they're Jewish, utilizing their Jewish faith, well, in the Jewish faith, depending on which sect you're in, I mean, the Goyim are literally trash, right? They're scum of the earth. They're like to be taken advantage of and to be used to gain whatever you can.
I think you should probably explain what a Goyim is.
Well, Goyim is just a non-Jew or someone who's not a follower of the Jewish religion, right? That's how they refer. That's how you're referred to. And if you're in a political office and you are utilizing and making decisions, well, if you believe that, then that's a problem, right? That's an issue. Just as if, again, if it was a Muslim individual and they were looking at who are the non-believers, infidels, right? All the infidels, they're scum to them. They're trash. They deserve nothing but death, essentially, because they don't believe in their religion. And so if you have someone that's in political power making decisions based on those beliefs that they have, well, again, that's a problem, because anyone who's not what you believe is, you're not going to be working in the interest of everyone. You can't tell me that you're willing to, so then that means you just don't believe your religion that much. Then you don't believe it all the way. Right. So, if we were here and we're in the United States, obviously, for the people who are out of or not in our country, and that's the main examples we're using to talk about this. But if again, everybody, in God we trust, it's on the money. Every president, every politician, God bless our troops and God bless the United States of America, right?
As if we were fucking ordained by God himself.
As if Americans are God's chosen people in that sense. And here's the thing. If you're going to use that and run the country with a full religious belief and insert those religious opinions into how you're going to run things, then realistically, we're no different than any of, like Saudi Arabia or Iran.
Yeah, we're Al Qaeda, dude.
Right. We're no different than any of them. And we're all doing the same shit at the end of the day. If we're going to say that we're better than them, that's a lie. We're not. We're still doing the same bullshit. We're just doing it with a different face, a different God, we're doing it with Jesus, right? Because in America, let's face it, that's kind of like the majority is the Jesus people, right? And so when you have all these people making these decisions and saying, hey, and the worst fucking thing that I hate is how all these assholes on the internet love to say about how America was founded on Jesus. It was founded on Christianity, blah, blah, blah. Sure, an argument can be made that the founding fathers back in the fucking 1700s believed in some sort of Jesus type Christianity, right? Okay, sure, but the majority of them did. They were from fucking England, of course. That was the main religion. That was like almost the only fucking religion in England at that time. So yes, of course, if they were religious, by default, they were likely or very highly likely to have been some Christian of some type. And I think that it's interesting that people love to say about how, this and God and everything and the founders, this country was founded as a Christian nation. That's a fucking horseshit. That's a farce. That's not true at all. And if you look in the Declaration of Independence, they didn't write the word God in there once at all. As a matter of fact, when they fucking went to do the amendments to the Constitution, and if you look in the Constitution, it doesn't say shit about that in there either. What does it say? First Amendment, literally, freedom of religion, right? And that the government shall not sponsor one religion, essentially. That everyone can believe what they want to believe, and the government will not say, hey, we're going to endorse a religion, right? But as it's turned out, we've sort of gotten away from that over the years. And now that stuff is it's said, it's very out there. Whatever your religion is, if you're a political figure, you're saying these things. Those are the things you're supposed to say. That God bless everyone, and God bless the United States of America. That's the thing you're supposed to say at the end of every fucking speech, right? Every fucking president does it. Every politician does it. That's what they do. And fuck, I think that's wrong, because you aren't doing what's in the best interest of all the people if you're using your religious beliefs to guide your decision-making process. Because what about those of us who don't believe in what you believe in? You're not looking out for us when it comes to things like, okay, abortion as an example, right? Most of the people who are against abortion, as we talked about, I think on the last episode with Katie, was that most of those people are religious. That's just because religious people don't like abortion. They don't believe in it. They think that life begins at ejaculating into the lady, right? Like that's what they believe. So, okay, cool. But we shouldn't be legislating your religious belief. Just like in the states that are, it's multiple states now that are starting to require the teaching of the Bible as history, as fact in public school. They're requiring the 10 Commandments to be posted on the walls in some school, in some states. I think that's a problem, because those are the Christian beliefs, the Christian tenets, right?
Yeah. And it's not based on fact. It's creationism.
Right. It's nonsense. You're going to tell me that what's in the Bible has to be taught as historical fact when we talk about Egypt or any of those things that were around back in those kind of times, we don't even have a complete picture of what fucking happened. We're inferring and making kind of some assumptions on a lot of historical fact. Yeah, there's evidence for some things, but like the pyramids, motherfuckers still can't, like, there's no definitive answer on how the pyramids got built. There's theories, but no one's been able to really like 100% say, oh, cool, we found a tablet that had the fucking instruction manual like Legos, how to fucking build the pyramids, right? Nobody fucking knows for sure. It's theories, but you can't tell me that, oh, this fucking book that was originally written in a language that doesn't exist anymore, got translated into fucking Latin, then translated into fucking like Hebrew, then translated into fucking 18 other different languages, and then finally it gets translated into English at some point. And then the British decide, or the English decide, oh, we're gonna change certain things on this. We're gonna take this out. Now you're gonna tell me that that's a historical fact book? Like, that's a lie. That's dumb. That is the dumbest fucking thing I might have ever heard in my life. That you're gonna say that's a factual book.
Yeah, it's a lot of mental gymnastics, or letting your mind stew on the idea that this is all. It's a leap of faith, like by the farthest possible stretch.
And if you're going to tell me that I have to believe this as fact, that means you're telling me I have to believe in your religion. And again, that's not cool. No government entity should be telling anyone, again, based on the First Amendment, what they can and can't believe. And if you're going to tell me that this is a fact, that means the other stuff's not a fact. That means it's false. Because you can't have two things be true that oppose each other, that are contradictory, right? So that's what you're saying is, nope, this is the fact, and the other stuff doesn't count. That's not real. That's just fucking fairy tales and made up nonsense.
Yeah, I would like to point out that this is not an attack on Christianity. This is just about religion on the whole.
Yeah, and I think that we're using Christianity as the main example because that's what's the majority here where we live. And so it's easy for us to use that as a comparison. But same thing applies, I think, and again, like the example I used with like Saudi Arabia, Iran, a lot of those Middle Eastern countries that are religious caliphates, I think those are fucking not good because look what happens. All they do is they're more extreme, but they kill people that don't believe the shit they believe, right? They just say, oh, you're a fucking infidel? Well, guess what, bitch? You got to die. That's the end of it. Or you got to be in jail. You fucked up. Sorry, you were born on the wrong patch of dirt. I don't know what to tell you. So any country that does that, that's inherently problematic.
It is rather weird that, let's say you have two Muslim sects, right? Not sex, S-E-X,
yeah.
but S-E-C-T-S, that if they occupy the same country, one was in power, and then another, let's say a person's just born, they become an adult, and then for whatever reason they get persecuted. you are on the wrong team of Muhammad. We're gonna have to put you in jail. But wouldn't that look bad on the other team's part that's in power? Because it's like, well, you guys technically both believe in the same fucking thing. If you're saying he's wrong, then technically you should be wrong too, because you don't have it right either. Like,
right. And like we did a whole episode of the Central Unintelligence podcast talking about the major differences between Sunni and Shia Muslims, right? And those are the two big like sects. And the only difference essentially between the two, as it boils down to, is who is the recognized descendant of Muhammad. The Shia believe one guy, the Sunni believe another guy is the true descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. That's what and listen, sure, there's other minutia. Okay, so don't fucking come at me, but I'm boiling it down for the simpletons out there that at the base root, that is the base. When you take the fraction down all the way to its lowest, what is that?
Common denominator.
Yeah, that's the lowest common denominator. That's the thing. It's just who is a descendant of that. Which guy is the true descendant of Muhammad? So if you look at that, they're killing each other over kind of something stupid. They actually believe most of the same shit. What? That doesn't even make sense to me. And yet they're governing full countries off of one of those two being in charge, it ebbing and flowing depending on who has the more people, who has the less, And yeah, like that's a good example where sometimes, oh man, if the Sunnis were in charge, they say, hey, we were killing these guys. And you're like, cool, I was a kid, grew up Sunni. And then all of a sudden, by the time you get to adult, oh man, the Shia are in charge now. And now I'm being persecuted because of what I believe. Oh shit, this sucks. And they're like, well, fuck you, bitch. You did it to us. Now it's our turn. And then they go back and forth like this for thousands of years.
Completely disregarding what Muhammad probably taught.
Yes, yeah, of course. In the process, ironically, completely disregarding anything that Muhammad spoke of just to murder each other over the words and who actually came from his ball sack, allegedly.
Yeah.
So, ridiculous.
The product of my semen.
Hornswoggle! But anyways, yeah, I don't like how it's become very, oh God, what's the word?
The Christian nationalism.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's become. It's become this, America and Jesus.
And Jesus.
And I can't follow. I can't get behind that, man. Like I cannot get behind America being a quote unquote Christian state, because that's not what America was or should be. Yes, it is become that, but it shouldn't be that. And again, you can say you're a Democrat or a fucking Republican. Both you assholes are responsible for this because both you assholes did it. Both you assholes say the same shit. You all talk about God and Jesus and all this bullshit and go to the fucking church. Man, if you're president, you should not be allowed to go to church. That should be like off the table. Hey, man, sorry. If you want to go to church, you got to have the whoever come to the White House, and you get to do it in private. No televisions, no nothing. No one can know about this. Do it in secret, bitch, for the 4 years that you're president. And no one's going to know about it. Not going and praying in the thing and asking for a blessing from some guy with a funny ass fucking hat. Like, come on, man. That's what we're using as a basis for morality. We're using a book that literally talks about killing people just because they might be gay or they looked funny or whatever. Insane. That's fucking insanity. And here we are, 2024. Jesus is fucking making a comeback in the South and everywhere with a vengeance.
Yeah, man. It's like that fucking quote. I forgot who said it. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, that's a true story right there.
It's been told numerous times by history itself. I mean, I forgot what the phrase itself is called. I think it was manifest destiny for the U.S. Mm-hmm. That it was the U.S. destiny to wipe out Native Americans and for us to seize basically North America or a majority of North America because it was God's will.
Yeah, it was our God-given right to this land. and no one was going to stop us from taking that, right? That's problematic. Now, if you're on the losing end of that spectrum, what can you do? Nothing. You can't do shit about it. Now, if you're in some other fucking countries, you're just wiped out, like, completely. Like, there's none of them left. Luckily, I mean, the U.S. was like, oh, okay, we'll take our war crimes we'll dial them back a little bit against these Native Americans. Maybe we went a little too far. Whoops.
Maybe. I wonder what was the thing that said, you know what? That was a bit too much.
Yeah, that was a bit much there, fellas. Maybe we should dial back the scalping a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe we should just,
maybe the Trail of Tears was just a bit too much.
Yeah, maybe that was a little overboard, guys. Let's just take it down a couple notches.
Or with like Israel and Netanyahu. I don't know if there's a point. I don't know if there's a point in which they'll say, maybe we crossed the fucking line, because it does feel like we've hit that point where a number of people are going to be displaced, dead, hungry, and there seems to be no signs of that stopping. I mean, fuck, they're pushing to extend the borders so now that they could seize the fucking land, and they think they're in every right to do so because God said so.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think that this conflict is ever truly going to come to an end. Because you can't have two opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of religion. You've got Gaza or
Palestine,
right, as a Muslim-run country, and you've got Israel being a Jewish-run country. And who has been enemies for millennia? Jews and Muslims, right? So if you have two countries that are just diametrically opposed to one another on a fundamental religious basis, that's never going to end well. Jesus Christ, the Crusades fighting over that same stupid plot of land in Jerusalem, the fucking Crusades lasted for literally thousands of years, and there were multiple Crusades. Billions of people, probably even in the trillions of people, died going to fight on both sides, fighting for a fucking patch of dirt that they thought, oh, our guy that we believe our Sky Daddy put his buddy here. No, our Sky Daddy says this was our land. No, hold on. Our Sky Daddy says this.
We were here first.
Yeah. And they traded that land for thousands of years. And so that region is just fucked. That's why that region is always fucked. It's never going to be good because they could not separate church and state. They couldn't fucking separate the two. And as a matter of fact, they even doubled down on it. And in the hotbed of countries that are all Muslim-run countries said, you know what, we're going to give Jews their own country here. Yeah, let's just do that. That's a great fucking idea. Smart, guys. Now look where it's at. Look all the problems that's caused. No government. If we were going to be truly a legitimate world police, Team America World Police, right? Doing our fucking job, let's say, over the last 150 years we've been the world power, we should have been saying, hey, any new country that forms or any country that's under our sphere of influence, no religion, bitch. No religion in your government, because that's just going to end up problematic. And again, look where we're at. Most of these conflicts that are happening today, the core root of it is a religious fundamental difference, especially, like I said, in the Middle East. Here in the United States, we have a core fundamental religious difference between, essentially, it's believers and non-believers. It's not even really, I don't think, yes, all the religions, there's so many of them here that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're all fighting each other. Who cares? But here, it's more so the believers against the non-believers. Or people who claim to love freedom. And that's the fucking ironic part. All these super religious people, they love to claim freedom, but yet they want to restrict people's activity based on their religious beliefs to the extreme.
Yeah. And my favorite part is when they have nonprofits or advocacy groups that are called like the Freedom Brotherhood, and they're trying to limit people's civil rights. Or
gays can't get married. By the way, brought to you by the Freedom Brotherhood.
Yeah,
what kind of fucking horse shit is that? You're not about
the preservation of the American family,
American values,
or something, like as if there are American values to begin with.
Yeah, our values were and always should be, dude, just do whatever you want as long as it doesn't fucking affect nobody else. That's what it kind of was at the beginning.
Yeah,
as long as you ain't hurting anybody else, do what you want. You want to fuck Jimmy's butthole? Go ahead. Who cares? It's not hurting me. Just don't do it in front of anybody's kids. Whatever. You'll be fine. Right? Do it behind closed doors. Don't do it out in the streets. Just like we don't want Jimmy fucking his wife Sue out in the streets, right? So cool. You guys keep it in the street. Keep it out of the streets. Just keep it in your house. Right? Don't hurt nobody. That's what we should be doing. That's what we should be fucking doing. Not literally saying, all right, you can't be married. You know what? We don't like the color you are, so you can't be married either. We don't like this fucking thing you believe, so you can't get married.
Or we don't like the fact that you're two different colors, and
that's another big one. Yeah, you're not the same.
That. Yeah, you're not the same. You're red. You're blue. Yeah, that's
not
no
allowed,
bueno,
according to them.
Yeah,
but yet they love to talk about, I like my freedom. America is a freedom. I don't know. Maybe people just don't know what words mean.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe that's what it is. They're literally sitting there going, "Oh, I love freedom." Hey, wait a minute. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's the opposite of freedom.
You know what? Even if that were the case, if it was written in actual text, I don't even think that would be enough, because then the text itself, I mean, it's like the same way of how religion has numerous denominations that exist in Christianity alone. Oh, I interpreted the Bible this way. I don't know about that, brother. I believe it. I believe this text says something different, and I don't stand by it. So I'm gonna start my own Christianity. It's gonna be called Mormonism, brother. That's how it happens, dude. And I think even if it were the case that the separation of church and state should be written in our Constitution, that I'm sure that they would fuck it up in some way.
Yeah.
That there would be some kind of loophole, or the wording isn't precise enough that somebody would find a way to fuck it up.
Well, and this is the thing, just like you're saying about the multiple interpretations of the same religion, right? The same thing exists with our own constitutional scholars who study this shit. There are many people that have multiple different interpretations of what the Constitution actually means. So much so that if you have an issue with it, you got to take it all the way up to the Supreme Court, where a bunch of old people get to decide what the fuck it means. Oh, that's fucking weird. Now, we already did an episode about the fucking Supreme Court, but either way, what the fuck? What? How are you going to sit here and tell me that, oh, I interpret it this way, my interpretation's right, and your interpretation is wrong? It's a goddamn interpretation. Doesn't it mean no one's right? You're just interpreting it?
Yeah. Even that sounds odd in and of itself, because all it takes is just convincing enough people that they become the consensus. And it doesn't even necessarily mean it's the right thing. It's just simply the fact that there's a number of people that outnumber another minority group of people, not an actual minority like physical color or cultural or whatever. I'm talking about like people that are constitutional scholars, that their interpretation is in the minority. And it's simply the fact that there's a larger number of another perspective that they could outnumber and say that, I don't know if they think they're right, but they're the majority. So who's going to fight them?
Right. Yeah. And that's one of the things that, again, like we were saying, the tyranny of democracy, right? Or the tyranny of the majority, right? That's kind of what democracy is. And if you look at the Democrat and Republican parties, this is why church and state should have been codified as being separated. Now, sure, maybe that's something they fucked up when they didn't think about that, because maybe they didn't, people aren't going to be so stupid as to run a country based on their stupid religion. Haha, no one would never do that. They could learn from history and see how that never fucking works. Well, obviously not. We're idiots. But it didn't get codified into words. So now you've got it's so ingrained not only in the government, the way it's run itself, but in the political parties, that the political parties have essentially become their own religious institutions with their own dogma, with their own sets of punishments for, hey, if you don't fucking believe the certain thing that we believe today, then you're out, bitch. You don't get to fucking be part of the party anymore. And again, that's also a problem because now you're utilizing the media, being left and right leaning media outlets, to do what? To help build your majority so that you can convince enough people to come to your side so that you can win. Therefore, 51% of the country could say yes on something. Well, guess what? That passes. That becomes a law or whatever. But what about the 49% that didn't like that? Again, they get run over and their freedom taken away to do whatever it was that they wanted to be able to do just because 1% more or 2% more really fucking voted against the thing. So again, it's tyranny by majority. And that's where we're at right now, I think, with this country. Is it's this democracy has turned into some weird fucking shit. And again, I've said it before, I don't know what the fuck the answer is. I tell you what, definitely part of the answer should be is religion out of the question when it comes to
all
government.
together. I think a lot of problems would be solved with religion out of the way for the United States, or at least I think that would help. Or not being taught in school, not being in any form of education, to have any influence on our government. That's for you to fucking preserve in your own household and possibly your own family. I guess your own religious community. But honestly, you can keep that shit out of my fucking government because I ain't down with that shit.
Yeah,
that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yep, it doesn't work for me, brother. And then we fucking lay the smack down on somebody through a fucking table of some kind.
I want to know what country exists out there that doesn't have a religious creed. That's probably, I swear, they're probably more advanced than we are. Because there's nothing holding them back from people that follow a certain creed that are going to tell them, no, we can't do this because it's against God, or it's against the Bible. Can't do it, brother.
Sorry, brother, we can't do that. It doesn't work for me, brother. You're gonna have to take a back seat to this. We're getting rid of whatever.
Yeah. I'm sure there's countries out there are far more civilized and far more tolerant, far more advanced than us, simply for the fact that they're not limited by religion, or rather religion plays no part in their own government. Because we certainly done a number to ourselves. You find
yeah, so many countries favor specific religions officially or unofficially, but are there any secular oh yeah, that's what it is. Secular, that's the word.
That's the word.
Are there
secularism?
Any secular
word of the day? Look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Okay, so it says
it's gonna be like Singapore or some shit. Singapore.
Some of the most well-known examples for states considered constitutionally secular. What the fuck does that even mean? Are the United States. Lies. Well, the Constitution technically doesn't have religion. So technically that is secular, but our country practice, is not. No. Yeah, in practice is not. It's not.
No.
Current secular countries in 2024. Oh fuck! They're saying Mexico is a secular country. I don't think that's
horseshit. Everybody's. I don't want to say everybody's Catholic, but I mean they are at the very least Christian.
Yeah, they're mostly Catholic, I believe. Application.
I mean, they're not fucking down with abortion. They're not down with abortion either.
Yeah, they're not down for shit because they're super Catholic. They're insanely Catholic.
Yeah,
and Catholicism again, allowing it to be essentially its own country. Also kind of problematic.
Dude, fucking the Catholic religion itself, man. The Catholic fucking empire. Back in the, 1200s or...
Shit, yeah. I mean, maybe even earlier than that. But yeah.
The influence they had on Europe. I mean, the fact that they hoarded information from other countries. They pillaged, they destroyed. And then they had the audacity to put churches in those fucking countries that they were raiding. Now you submit to us and you are also Catholic. What the fuck, dude? How is that remotely godly or remotely? How is that even remotely tied to the Bible that you did all this dirty shit?
Yeah.
In the name of God. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, it's not. It's horseshit.
There's not an ounce of virtue or righteousness in that. That is just selfish and hedonistic.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact of the matter that the Catholic Church was allowed to do this because they became such a powerful entity, no one could stop them. That's why they still exist today in the way that they do. And no one really fucks with the Catholic Church. Like I said, they're their own country. Like,
yeah. You know what's really disappointing is that I don't know why we're just turning this into a bashing of like Christianity. I don't know who the fuck cares at this point. I've said it before, but there is an actual fund for people that have been victims of being sexually assaulted by priests, bishops, or whoever the fuck.
Yeah.
There's an actual fund. That means it's going to be an ongoing thing. Instead of eliminating the problem altogether, they're setting up a fund knowing that this is going to be something that's going to
continue to happen, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you're the religious organization?
Where does it say in the Bible that you can diddle little kids? Where's the morality in that?
Yeah, where does it say it's okay to do that if you're a priest?
Yeah.
A supposed man of God, right? Yeah. That's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, go ahead.
But as far as the subject of secularism in our government, man, what a mistake to not have it written in fucking paper. Because I think a majority of the problems within this country itself are simply based on just a majority could be said to be provoked by religion or people that have religious beliefs.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we are backing Israel just because evangelists believe they want to expedite the process of the doomsday scenario. That shit is fucking insane, dude.
It really is.
Or just on the principle that they're God's chosen people, and we acknowledge that. And as Christians, because they came before us in the Old Testament, and we're the New Testament. We're kind of like siblings or related.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude? Why is any government decision based on that?
Yeah, that's insane. It shouldn't be, because that's literal insanity, in my opinion. And fuck, what sucks is there's nothing we can do about it because there's too many of them. Too many of these assholes that think this is okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Fuck. I don't know what the solution is, but the solution definitely, like I said, includes no religion in government at all. Yeah. If you want to believe your shit on your own time, do it. But there cannot be any fucking inkling of religiosity being legislated into our government and the way it's run. That's just ridiculous. So anyways, you got anything else for this one?
Nah.
Yeah. So church versus state. Fuck church. I mean, fuck the state too, but shit.
Keep your religion out of my government, brother.
That's why I'm a proponent of anarchy. No gods, no masters, right?
Everybody keeps everybody in check.
Yep. Everybody keeps everyone in line. And if someone steps out of line,
you fucking die.
You just get shot.
Or you get handled in some way.
In some way, yeah. Some way or another. Anyways, all right, cool. That was a fun episode. That was a good one. Shitting on religion.
Yeah, I've been holding that in for a long time.
Yeah, good. Man, we should do a whole deep dive on just religion, our religion experiences in general on something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
But anyways, well, shit. Thank you guys for listening. That was a fun time. Hopefully you were sports entertained.
Yeah, and if you are a person of religious faith, I mean, we're cool as long as you keep your shit to yourself and don't let it influence your decision of how you vote, or even if you hold office, don't let it influence your decisions.
Yeah, and then just keep it to yourself, and we will be straight. We'll be good.
Try to be impartial as possible, man.
Yeah,
try to make it about literally everyone. Like, vote on the don't vote on the consensus. Vote on what would be best for the most people.
Logical.
Like yes.
What's logical?
Not just for your buddies or
Yeah.
people in your religion or whatever the fuck.
Jesus and all that. Fucking bastards. Anyways. All right, cool. Well, anyways, if you want to hear our other podcasts, you go to GameRageMagazine.com. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you want to follow Adam, it's All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. You could hear his podcast, his wonderful music podcast, All Gas No Trash, conveniently located on the Game Rage Magazine Podcast Network. Anyways, that'll do it for us. If you like the music, the In and Out music, Millennial Frog, you can check them out. Album's out now. Poverty of Content, fucking 6 albums out. Go check them out.
Fuck CD Baby.
Yeah, fuck CD Baby. All right. Albums are out. All right. Have a good one.